Hey guys, Aubree here, and today's video, I'm actually sitting outside in the One City Plaza, and I'm sitting downtown Greenville, right off of Main Street, and you definitely want to pay attention to this, because this video we're going to go over the pros, the cons, the things that maybe you already know about Greenville, and then maybe the things that you don't know about Greenville. So with that, in the One City Plaza, we're sitting out around here. We have the Clemson office in the One City Plaza building. We have a couple different local restaurants down here in this area and just off of Main Street. So let's get to it. Alright guys, I'm Aubree. They have grown to separate locations to tell you the overall facts of actually standing on the Swamp Rabbit Trail right now. So, wait a second, I'm falling. Alright guys, so pros and cons. And full disclosure, I'm sitting here with notes. So, let's talk about the pros of Greenville first. So one of the first pro about Greenville that I want to cover is the thriving downtown Main Street. And when I am thinking about Greenville, or when I'm talking to someone that is looking at relocating here from out of state or just here in the area and they want to know about Greenville, they talk about the downtown. So first things first, you have Falls Park. It's usually the first picture that you will see in a Google search when you pull up Greenville, South Carolina. So you have the Falls Park Bridge, you have the Swamp Rabbit Trail that runs directly through Falls Park, and it's just a really great space to go for a walk, go for a run, sit and just relax. You get to listen to the water, the falls, and it's just a really nice area. There's also different activities that are happening in the park almost all the time. You can catch somebody doing live music. There's a theater troupe that comes in the summertime and does plays in the park. Definitely don't want to miss out on that. They do a lot of Shakespeare. And then also you have just the downtown Main Street. So something that's fun that I was talking to a friend about earlier was we don't have a lot of chain restaurants here. And if it is a chain restaurant, it's locally owned, or you have it's a bigger name chain, like we have Sticky Fingers and Halls. You have other restaurants down Main Street that maybe you won't be able to find other places. One thing about Greenville downtown specifically is there are a ton of locally owned restaurants, businesses, different boutiques. I mean, good golly, I'm sitting across the street right now from a dentist's office on Main Street. And it's just a very nice up and coming area. It's been up and coming for probably a decade now. And one of the biggest things that came to Greenville was the Swamp Rabbit Trail and having that, you know, go through Main Street. With that as well, the downtown area, you have all the different festivals that happen throughout the year. So you have the Saturday morning farmers market, you have Artist Sphere, there's also Euphoria or Fall for Greenville. Lots of different community events that happen here in Greenville. They block off all of Main Street for almost, and you don't want to miss out on that. So that's the downtown. I could probably talk to you for several more minutes about it. Go ahead and make sure you check out our Why Greenville video because I go through a couple of my other favorite things about downtown. So then the next thing about Greenville that's really great is you have the businesses that are here. Now, I'm just not talking about the local businesses here on Main Street. I'm talking about across the upstate. There are several Fortune 500 companies here that if you are looking to relocate here, you should be able to find a job pretty easily. Those companies you're looking at: BMW, Fluor, Michelin, GE, just to name a few of those. And they bring a lot of business here to the area because those businesses then have supporting businesses. And it's one of those that hopefully that's something that helps you out if you're looking for a job here. Next, we have affordability. So this is my specialty here because I help people buy and sell houses all the time. And what I have noticed, and when we have people relocating here, the affordability of the upstate is usually about 5 to 10% lower than the national average. So for example, you can buy in Greenville around a $300,000 to $400,000 house, where in another part of the country that would be a $500,000 to $600,000 house. Definitely something to pay attention to if you're looking to relocate here and buy. The next thing is just everything that you can do outside. So obviously I'm sitting outside right now, and it's easy to walk the main street. But what Greenville is honestly situated perfectly in the upstate to where we have parks, trails. You're a day trip to a really nice lake. Lake Hartwell is probably one of the biggest lakes here in the upstate. You can be there in 45 minutes. Then you can also be out at the beach in about 3 hours. So definitely want to look at location. You're also located about an hour and a half between Charlotte and also Atlanta. So you have two major cities that you can easily get to if you need to hop on international flights, if you need to have that bigger city that you're close enough to, but you're not living right in it. And then finally, let's talk about the weather here. So the weather in South Carolina is pretty mild throughout the entire year. Yes, we get hot in the summers, and you have days like today. We are, almost smack in the middle of summertime right now, and I would say it's probably in the 70s right now. It's really easy to sit outside and enjoy the outdoors. So those are the pros and the things that you probably know about Greenville just from a simple Google search. I hope that helps. Next, let's go into the cons. So the things that you don't know about Greenville, the things that maybe you want somebody to be really honest with you. I can be honest with you. So let's go over the cons. Cons of the upstate. Now, if you have done any sort of research, you know that Greenville, South Carolina has ended up on many top places to live articles. I know we've been mentioned across the board as one of the top 10 places to relocate to here in the South. And while that's true, and we have so many people relocating here, also back in our Why Greenville video, we talked about there are about, on average, 30 people moving here every day. So you need to go and take advantage of watching that video to learn a little bit more about Greenville. But what that has done is it has raised our housing costs, because when there's more demand, prices go up. When there's less demand, prices stay steady or they lower. So right now, I don't see that changing. Our housing prices are going to go up, and that's just because we're such an awesome area. So looking at that, our average price point for Greenville housing is somewhere in the low to mid 300s. You can find a really nice house for that price, and it's going to be different from what you find in other parts of the country. Now, I mentioned this in the pros, it does get hot here. So one of the cons about Greenville is in the summertime, we get super hot and sticky. And we might have weeks where it's upwards of 100 degrees. We had a heat wave a couple weeks ago, and nobody wants to be outside. We also have the springtime, and you walk outside and everything's coated in a layer of yellow pollen. So if you have really bad allergies, you might want to think about that. So definitely the pollen here in the springtime is, you just see clouds of it moving down the street. It's awful. Then as you're doing research and so on, I know crime rates are important to a lot of different people. The Greenville upstate does have a higher percentage of crime than some other parts of the country. Now, you're not going to get away from crime in any sense of it. It's everywhere. That is a con though, because we are a city, we end up with more of a higher crime rate. And then finally, we do have a lack of public transport around Greenville. So it's not easy to just hop on a bus or get a cab or honestly even Uber and go from one side of town to the other. It's just not as prevalent here, and it's something that I know that they're working on. Now, I would say downtown is a little bit better. There is a trolley system that runs from one side of Main Street to the other and is very beneficial for downtown. But it is something that we are working on, and it's a con for a city of this size. So with that, that's just our pros and cons of Greenville. If you want to know more about Greenville, South Carolina, make sure that you subscribe to these videos, because I would love to make sure that I am your resource here. And I run a real estate team, so if you are thinking about relocating here to the area, I would love my team to be your real estate resource of choice here. So make sure you subscribe to these videos. Shoot my team an email if you are interested in more information, or if you're coming into town, I'd love to meet you. And I hope this helps, and I will catch you next time. See ya.